Craig, what are your emotions right now?
Well, disappointment, obviously. Yeah, obviously, losing grand final, is hard, but you sort of console yourself a little bit with, grand finals are hard to get to. They're hard to get to, and obviously they're hard to win it as well. So, congratulate the boys on having a good year and getting here. But it's obviously very disappointing. When you don't get the result you want, So, that's the emotion at the moment.
Craig, how big a turning point was the no try just a couple of minutes into the second half? Jerome gives you guys the momentum, and I think it would have been 16-point lead, and then Reece Walsh does his thing.
Yeah, I think it was a pretty big turning point, but you've got to give the Broncos some credit too, for coming back. They've been coming back the whole semi-final series actually. So we were a bit disappointed in how we let a couple of tries in, but at the end of the day, we just weren't good enough on the day, on the night, and the Broncos were.
What were you thinking when Ellie makes that break, final minute? Did you think something special was about to happen?
We'd like to, but obviously it didn't. But again, there was a few other instances in the game where that could have happened, but it could have happened for the Broncos too. So at the end of the day, things happen for a reason, and
So we had a plan to stop Reece Walsh. What did he do?
It didn't work. Yeah. So
Steve feels like a player out there that once he gets on a roll, there's really not much you can do to stop him.
I think there's some things you can do. Tackling. Obviously, we didn't. So he's obviously a good player. He's quick and he's strong. That's probably the X factor in him, to be quite honest. Everyone knows he's quick, but he's so strong in contact. And we didn't do much of a job.
Harry, what do you think changed in the second half? What do you think changed in the second half?
Oh, they had a fair bit of possession and momentum their way in terms of we created a few opportunities in the second half, but like Craig said, they were there to stop it, and we just didn't take advantage. We're on the back foot a lot of that second half, but we still managed to find ways to give ourselves a sniff, and credit to the Bronx in the way they turned up and own their moments.
Just with the way Bruce was playing, you know, a bit cryptic almost in the second half when you guys had the ball and trying to take chances, if you know what I mean?
No, not really. We knew our game. I think there's probably more that energy battle, and we lost a couple of troops early in the game, and we probably had to change the game style a little bit, or just roll the sleeves up a bit more. And as I said, we probably didn't fully take our moments in terms of completions and icing those opportunities, and then we're on the back foot, and the game's pretty fast at the moment. You can all see that, the amount of fatigue in the game, and they just had the run of play in the second half there.
Right, you've been 11 of these now, and you've had the roller coaster, winning plenty and losing some. Is that the hardest way to lose one though, when you have the lead like you do in a grand final and can't close it out?
I know it's obviously it's tough to lose the grand final, whatever the situation. Certainly with that lead we had, and I think made the point here that when we lost that ball over the line, that was a big turning point. It was a no try, and then that would have made it, I think 20 points in front type thing, and then they went up the other end and scored a try. So that was a huge turning point. So like I say, we're disappointed in the result. But as I said, we to make a grand final, it's hard work, and the boys have done a good job to do that. But obviously, would have liked to have won, but we haven't, and the Broncos are too good on the night.
You feel like you're in a good position still, Craig, to be back here again next year. Like, you've shown that over your history, that you come back and do it again? And how do you see your future?
Oh, yeah, again, there's going to be a lot of games of footy, happen before, the grand final next year. So we're just worried about, what we're doing at the moment. I think there was a couple of things we thought we'd learned from last year, but obviously we didn't. And so, they'll be doubled down on in our pre-season, and, hopefully, we can have a good season next year.
Harry, you felt this feeling last year, obviously, and you can hear the celebrations through there right now. As a player, can you just explain the hurt that you feel?
Yeah, I guess everyone probably can understand the pain, and it's a long season, like Craig touched on. It's hard to get here. There's a lot of work that goes into being here, and a lot of people put time and effort throughout the season. So it's not easy to get here, and you don't need to be in a rush to get back here. We can't get back here tomorrow. So, but what we do tomorrow can certainly help. So, yeah, I think that's painful to listen to, but yeah, it's about what's next now.
Craig, how do you make sure back-to-back grand final losses doesn't derail this group and, like you say, so much of the hard work that has gone into getting to the spot you're at now?
No, it'll be up, depending on all the people in the club, the staff and the players, and how hard they want to work next year. So, starting the pre-season. If we don't want to work out, well, we won't be back in next year. If we want to put the work in, well, we'll be a chance.
Did you see times tonight where there wasn't hard work being put in?
Oh, no, I think, I don't think we were overly smart at times, but I think we worked pretty hard. But having said that, the Broncos, they have as well, and you'd expect that of teams, in the grand final. So, I wasn't overly. I think there was a couple of times there where we could have put the effort into different actions, to be quite honest. But I wasn't disappointed, with our actual effort. In certain situations. Yeah.
Harry, how did the ref explain the tripping penalty? Because it was an error by them, and then they've gone back a couple of plays. I think the NRL said a few months ago that you're only meant to go back for acts of extreme foul play. So what was his explanation to you?
I just said it was a trip. Look, the game's so fast. Like, Ezra Mam's dangerous, left foot, right foot. You're coming across to make a tackle, you get wrong-footed, like, you're going to have imbalance somewhere within your body, and for me, unfortunately, that was what it looked like. At the end of the day, that decision is not from Grant. It's from someone above Grant that has got replays and looks at, and look, I don't think there's any player going out, majority of the time, with intent to trip someone. Played in fast motion, you'll see someone getting wrong-footed. Ezra Mam is one of the best in the game as a running 5'8". You don't know which way he's going. So that's probably more of what it was than, anyways.